All right. Well, hello, everyone.
Yes, hello.
And welcome to Atheist Sunday School.
Yes, welcome. It's good to see you guys here. And we are sorry for being a bit late, because
we got new tech.
We got new tech.
Wireless mics now.
Yep. Wireless mics, and we got some other stuff that you can see in a bit.
Yep.
So we do apologize for being late. So while we wait for... Oh, there it is. There's the new stuff popping up. So while we wait for people to get in here, do we have a 100-point show?
Yeah, I suppose we have to.
Okay.
So why don't you throw down your 100-point question?
Okay. What are the names of the three main Ugaritic poems?
Ooga Ooga, Ooga Booga, and Booga Booga.
You're wrong.
Oh. What are they?
It's the Legend of Karet, the Legend of Akat, and the Legend of Baal.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. There's a thing you know now.
So, okay. Here's my question.
Okay.
In Avatar: The Last Airbender, the avatar preceding Aang is Roku. However, who is the Earthbender who most recently preceded Aang?
Ash Ketchum.
No, it's Kyoshi. All right. So
All right.
Nobody got any points.
Nope, nobody got any points.
Absolutely wonderful. Do we have any,
announcements? Yes, announcements, since we got some people in here now. And once again, for the people just joining us, sorry we were late. We had technical difficulties. So, announcements on May 5th. I went over this last week. May 5th at 10 a.m. I am giving a talk. It's going to be in West Dallas. I'm doing a talk it's going to be an introduction to textual criticism. And I hope you guys can make that. I'm going to put links for that in the description. I'm going to put both a Facebook link and a link on the site Meetup. So it would be great if you guys could come to that. It'd be cool to see you. And then the day after, that's going to be on a Sunday, we're going to have Richard Carrier on the show here in studio, and he's going to be helping us read the Bible. And hopefully he won't get so drunk that he cannot read. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Because last time with Aaron, it was amusing.
It was amusing, but not the most productive episode we've ever done.
No, we did 2 chapters in 2 hours. That was not all that productive.
But it was great.
It was great.
Yeah.
So
this person wants us to come to SoCal.
Southern California.
Yeah, if you guys want to pay for the ticket and the lodging and everything.
Yeah, then we'll go to whatever event. Yeah.
We'll do whatever you want.
Yeah, we'll do that.
And it's all publicity for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great for us. Yeah. I think it's great for everybody.
Everybody needs to hear the good word, the good news.
The good news,
that God doesn't exist.
Yeah, it really needs to be heard.
Yeah.
So today we are going over chapters 16, 17, 18, and 19. And chapter 16 is pretty interesting, so we're going to read through that, and then I'm going to go over some interesting stuff. So I think we're about ready to get started.
Okay. Well then, everybody, we've got the King James Bible here, which is so fancy.
So fancy. And then I have the English Standard Version.
And we have the Oxford Companion to the Bible. We've got Who Wrote the Bible by
Richard Elliott Friedman. Good book. I recommend picking it up.
And we've got this Old Testament survey.
Yep, the Old Testament survey.
Yep.
And I actually pulled up something that might be useful later from that.
About when will we use that, maybe?
I don't know, but I'll tell you when.
Oh, Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Possibly at the end of these chapters. Okay.
Okay. Well, then, I'll begin at chapter 16 of Numbers. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab and An, and the son of Peleth, the sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel. Wow, that is poorly worded. They rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. And Moses heard it, and fell upon his face. And he spake unto Korah, and unto all his company, saying, Even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his, and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. This do. Take your censers, Korah, and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. Wow, was that written by P?
What's interesting? This entire thing is another one of those stories where they mix J and E. Or sorry, not J and E, J and P. This is another one of those story mixed within a rewrite of the story. So this story actually did confuse a lot of readers until we were able to separate them. But I'm definitely going to go over that later. So once we get to, once we're done with verse 35, I'm going to get into that a little bit.
Yeah, so basically what's going on up until this point in this chapter is the people are like, no, you guys take way too much stuff, right? Because in all those chapters that we've read, basically up until this point, it's essentially, hey, let's give a whole bunch of more stuff to the Aaronid priests.
Yeah, because they're the only important ones here.
Yeah.
That's what they told us. They told us they were the important ones.
Well, then let's continue. I also like how he speaks like Yoda. This do. You know, like, do this.
Old English, man, old English.
All right. And Moses said unto Korah, Hear I pray you, ye sons of Levi, seemeth it but a small thing unto you, that the God of Israel hath separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself to do service of the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them? And he hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee. And seek ye the priesthood also? For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord. And what is Aaron that ye murmur against him? And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, We will not come up. It is a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of a land that floweth with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us. Moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of the fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. So they're like, screw you, Moses.
Yeah, pretty much screw you.
Yeah. And Moses was very wroth, and said unto the Lord, Respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. And Moses said, wow, he's giving God commands now. Moses gets to decide who does and doesn't count when they make their offerings to God. Does that seem fair?
No, not even a little.
No, it's ridiculous.
Although we've known God to change his mind on multiple occasions when Moses particularly is like, or I think Abraham too.
Well, Abraham argues with him about Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah. But they both argue with God and end up convincing him of things, and he's like, fine.
Yeah. All right, then let's continue. And Moses said unto Korah, Be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou, and they, and Aaron tomorrow. And take every man his censer, and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers. Thou also, and Aaron, each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer, and put fire in them, and laid incense thereon, and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. So it is noteworthy that frankincense and myrrh, which are generally the incenses that they use in these things, do in large amounts have hallucinogenic properties. So if you fill a room with 250 people with censers full of this kind of incense, it will cause them to hallucinate.
And it would be like that scene in Neighbors when they burn all the weed.
Yeah.
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 Be like that.
It's basically, a remake of this chapter.
Now we know exactly where they got that idea.
Absolutely. And they took all their censers, and okay, so the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, Separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O God, the God of all the spirits of the flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation? And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the congregation, saying, Get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went to Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spoke unto the congregation, saying, Depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins. So they gat up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, on every side. And Dathan and Abiram came out, and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children. And Moses said, Hereby ye shall know that the Lord hath sent me to do all these works. For I have not done them of my own mind. Of these men, if these men die in the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord hath not sent me. But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up, with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord. So, at least we have context for when, it's not like they broke any of those commandments. They just didn't like Moses.
Yeah, but it's really interesting that this is one of the earliest references. Have we had a reference to Sheol yet? I don't know if we have.
I think we have once in one.
Once?
Of these.
Okay.
Where exactly does it say Sheol in yours?
Oh, okay. In verse 30, but if the Lord creates something new and the ground opens its mouth and swallows them up with all that belongs to them, and they go down alive into Sheol, then you shall know that these men have despised the Lord.
Oh, mine just says the pit.
Oh, Sheol is the pit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So for future reference, when they say the pit, generally they're going to be saying Sheol.
Yeah.
Okay. And it came to pass, as he made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them. Well, it literally caused an earthquake.
Yeah.
And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Korah, and all their goods. And they and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit, and from the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. So Moses now has a high-level earthquake spell. That's pretty cool. He leveled up. And all Israel that were round about then fled at the cry of them. For they said, lest the earth swallow us up also. And there came...
Hold on. Oh, wait, no. One more. Go on.
Okay. And there came out a fire from the Lord, and consumed 250 men that offered incense.
All right. So, this is where we can break for now, because so the next verse, it gives a footnote. It says that that's the chapter. That's the start of chapter 17 in Hebrew. So this entire next section, from verses 36 to 50, is actually the beginning of chapter 17 in Hebrew. So the verses are kind of messed up, but we can definitely talk about this the rebellion in the wilderness, this Dathan and Abiram and fucking Kohath, right?
So
Korah.
This is where it ends.
Yes,
in the Hebrew version.
Yes.
And I assume chapter 17 includes the following part and what's in chapter 17 here.
Yeah.
That explains why chapter 17 is so short.
Yeah, and why chapter 16 is so long. So I'm going to go over this a bit. I'm reading from Richard Elliott Friedman's, who wrote the Bible. Even more, and remember, this is one of those stories that was two stories intertwined. So they're woven together. So there's a reason it's really confusing. So we'll go over that. And if you're interested, if you pick this book up, he actually breaks them down, the authorship. So in boldface, it's priestly text in boldface, and then the regular text is J. And it kind of alternates between the two, if you can tell from the camera view. I'm not sure. But let's do some commentary on this. Even more revealing is the way that the author of P transformed a J.E. story of the rebellion in the wilderness. The two are wound around each other in the Bible now like the two flood stories. I will unwind them again, so he breaks them up, and then the commentary on it. For 2,000 years, people read this as one story, and it was confusing. It seemed to be taking place at two different locations at the same time. At some points, it was the tent of the rebels. At other points, it was the tent of meeting. At some points, the rebels were just Dathan and Abiram. At other points, it was Korah and his company. Separating the two stories solves these things and reveals a great deal. In the first story from J.E., is about the rebellion of Dathan and Abiram and On from the tribe of Reuben. They challenged Moses' leadership. In one of the great acts of ingratitude of all, they complain that he has taken them out of a land of flowing with milk and honey, meaning Egypt. Moses pleads that he has wronged no one, and that he has done only what God told him to do, not what he planned himself. He is vindicated when an earthquake swallows the challengers. In the second story, from P, the challengers are a group of Levites, backed by people of stature in the community. Their leader is Korah. Who is Korah? According to a P genealogy, he is Moses' and Aaron's cousin. His challenge is not against Moses' leadership. It is against Aaron's exclusive hold on the priesthood. Why cannot anyone else practice priestly functions, since all the people are holy? Moses defends Aaron. He sets up a test of just who is holy. The test is the offering of incense. Elsewhere in P, it is forbidden for anyone but a priest to burn incense. When the challengers try to do it, therefore, they are stepping beyond the prescribed bounds. Their fate is the same as that of Aaron's son, who crossed those bounds in the other story. Fire went out from Yahweh and consumed them. The J.E. story of the rebellion was a justification of Moses, but the priestly version is a justification of Aaron. It conveys the message that other Levites claims, that other Levites' claims to having the right to the priests are false, even if supported by people of stature. The priesthood of the nation is the priesthood of Aaron. So I thought that was super interesting. How the story was, how there were these two separate stories that are clearly different.
Yeah.
But they were woven together to make it seem like this flowing narrative.
Well, because they're both covering the same theme of rebellion.
Yeah. But this kind of theme pops up a lot of times in Numbers. This trying to see who the right way to lead the community. And that's actually the thing I pulled up in the survey.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to hand that to me.
Yeah,
So this lists a bunch of examples of how in Numbers it's basically a story of how they're trying a bunch of different leaderships. They're trying to get a bunch of different groups to lead them and see how it goes. Numbers explores forms of leadership for Israel. Leaders provide different ways for Israel to approach God, who dwells at the center of the camp. Divine holiness in the tabernacle is protected through the hierarchy of priests and Levites camped around it. Priestly leaders also provide a safe means for Israel to approach God through worship, and that's Numbers 3-4, 8, 16 to 18. So 16 that we just went over. The 70 elders provide prophetic leadership in governing the people, Numbers 11. Numbers also outlines the role of lay tribal leaders in Numbers 1, and Nazirites in Numbers 6. The role of Moses throughout Numbers also provides theological reflection on both prophetic and priestly leadership. He models prophetic, charismatic leadership in Numbers 11-12, priestly, non-charismatic leadership in this chapter and the next two, and other intercessory roles in Numbers 13-14 and 25.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, now our viewers are just a little bit smarter than most Christians.
just a little.
Just a little.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah. I know we have like astronomers and genealogists.
Yeah, whatever.
All sorts of fancy people on our side. But you know, they have many more.
They have theologians.
Yeah, they have
That's way up there.
I guess. But I guess we're kind of theologians. We're doing theologian work.
We are.
All right.
When I did my video on the Trinity, I was told by more than a few Christians that I sounded more like a theologian than an atheist, and I'm like, I don't know how to take that.
You should take it as an insult. Nothing good can ever come from the mouths of Christians, after all. So, do you want to read this part?
No, fuck off. Keep going.
Because, you know, we're doing the Hebrew. We're Orthodox Jews now.
Nah, fam.
Okay. We're not Orthodox Jews. That's not true. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, that he take up the censers out of the burning, and scatter thou the fire yonder. For they are hallowed. The censers of those sinners. Against their own souls let them make them broad plates for a covering of the altar. For they offered them before the Lord, therefore they are hallowed. And they shall be a sign unto the children of Israel. And Eleazar the priest took the brazen censers wherewith they that were burnt had offered, and they were made broad plates for a covering of the altar, to be a memorial unto the children of Israel, that no stranger, which is not of the seed of Aaron, come near to offer incense before the Lord, that he be not as Korah, and as his company, as the Lord said to him by the hand of Moses. But on the morrow, all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, saying, Ye have killed the people of the Lord. And it came to pass, when the congregation was gathered against Moses and against Aaron, that they looked toward the tabernacle of the congregation, and behold!
Behold!
You can get your Behold t-shirts from MilwaukeeAtheist.com.
And our Teespring.
Yeah.
Probably easier to get it through our Teespring.
The cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. And Moses and Aaron came before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Get you up from among this congregation, that I may consume them as in a moment. Again, you're...
Wow, he's really angry in this chapter.
Yeah, and they fell upon their faces. Well, this goes back to Yahweh being a war god.
Yeah.
You've been reading recently about
Yes. I right now I'm reading a book called The Pre-Biblical Narrative Tradition, and it analyzes the poems that I was talking about at the very beginning of the show, the legend of Keret, the legend of Akkad, and he kind of goes into the legend of Baal. These were all stories of the gods. It seemed like they were, doing real things, going real places, but it still took place in this. I don't know if it took place in a divine realm or if it was just divine beings doing things on Earth. I'm not quite sure, but it's super dry. By the way, this book is ridiculously dry, but it has a lot of interesting information. Like a lot of the gods that are mentioned in these are Ugaritic poems. So a lot of the gods that are mentioned, I think, kind of found their way into the ancient Israelite religion, and then eventually it just became about Yahweh. Because in the book, or in the poems, you have Yahweh, you have, other than Keret and Akkad, you also have Baal, and then you have a god named El, so like short for Elohim.
Well, El was another name of God. I mean,
yeah,
you've got
right,
El,
right.
You've got Elohim, you've got Yahweh, you've got Jehovah, you've got...
Right. So the ones that were mentioned, Baal was in there, like a bunch, like an Asherah too. Asherah is also
Asherah, yeah,
mentioned.
The wife of Yahweh.
Yeah, also mentioned in these poems. So my kind of working idea here is that these were a bunch of Ugaritic gods, and then eventually they found their way into the Israelite religion. Mm-hmm. And after that, with all of the stuff that was going down in Israel, the exiles, the wars, I think that they eventually, because they did have a Yahweh alone movement, mm-hmm. where they were worshiping a bunch of gods, but Yahweh was like their top god. Mm-hmm. But then, since they were losing some wars, they were like, no, you just gotta worship Yahweh. And it makes sense to worship the god of war when you've been losing a bunch of wars.
Yeah, because you've pissed him off somehow.
Yeah, so you gotta fucking worship him.
Yeah.
So that's my current idea, but I am still reading a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna try to falsify it.
Now, is this Yahweh, the war god, also a volcano god, or?
Not that I know of, but I'm sure I could run into that. We'll see.
All right.
Yeah, I got a lot of reading to do for the book that I'm writing.
We know at least that early Judaism, that is the books of Moses, are very volcanoistic.
Yeah, definitely the pillars of smoke and fire and yeah.
All right. Well, let's continue then. Where was I? You've killed the people, and it came to pass that the congregation was gathered against Moses and against Aaron. They looked toward the tabernacle of the congregation, and behold.
Yeah.
Okay, we were there. The cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. And Moses and Aaron came before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Get you up... Okay, yeah, I was here. Get you up from among this congregation, that I may consume them as in a moment. And they fell upon their faces. And Moses said unto Aaron, Take a censer, and put fire therein from off the altar, and put on incense, and go quickly into the congregation, and make an atonement for them. For there is a wrath gone out from the Lord, the plague is begun.
Ooh.
And, wow, that was like very Hollywood.
Yeah.
And Aaron took, as Moses commanded, and ran into the midst of the congregation. And behold! The plague was begun among the people. And he put on incense and made an atonement for the people. And he stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stayed. Wow, so they're complaining about the smell of dead bodies here.
Yeah.
Okay. The smell of hundreds of dead bodies.
Hundreds of dead bodies.
Rotting. Now, they that died in the plague were 14,700, besides them that died in the matter of Korah. And Aaron returned unto Moses unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the plague was stayed. So, yeah, a whole bunch of disease popped up after you had these dead bodies everywhere.
What's that one song? Dead bodies everywhere.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
No, not that one. Dead bodies everywhere. It's a Korn song.
Oh.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. Fuck both of you.
Sorry.
Well, why don't you do your super short chapter now? Hey, if you're enjoying the stream, why don't you give us a like and share it with all of your friends, countrymen, compatriots, ex-girlfriends,
Yeah.
etc.
Yes, it would be great if you could drop a like. It really helps us out.
Yeah.
All right, so now, chapter 17. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the people of Israel, and get from them staffs, one for each father's house. From all their chiefs according to their fathers' houses, 12 staffs. Write each man's name on his staff, and write Aaron's name on the staff of Levi. For there shall be one staff for the head of each father's house. So remember when we were talking about Aaron and the priesthood pretty much owning the Levites? Mm-hmm. That's seen right here. Like, if you're getting something from the Levites, instead just get it from Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you shall deposit them in the tent of meeting before the testimony where I meet with you. And the staff of the man whom I choose shall sprout. Thus I will make to cease from me the grumblings of the people of Israel, which they grumble against you. Moses spoke to the people of Israel, and all their chiefs gave him staffs, one for each chief, according to their fathers' houses, 12 staffs. And the staff of Aaron was among their staffs. And Moses deposited the staffs before the Lord in the tent of the testimony. On the next day, Moses went into the tent of the testimony, and behold, the staff of Aaron for the house of Levi had sprouted and put forth buds and produced blossoms. And that's what we have the picture of in the back.
It yielded almonds.
Yep, and it bore ripe almonds.
Ah, so we know exactly what kind of wood Aaron's staff's made out of.
Is it almond wood?
I guess.
I don't know.
Do almonds...
I have no fucking idea.
It's just a giant almond.
And it bore ripe almonds. Then Moses brought out all the staffs from before the Lord to all the people of Israel. And they looked, and each man took his staff. And the Lord said to Moses, Put back the staff of Aaron before the testimony to be kept as a sign for the rebels, that you may take an end of their grumblings against me, lest they die. Thus did Moses, and the Lord commanded him. As the Lord commanded him, so he did. And the people of Israel said to Moses, Behold, we perish. We are done. We are all undone. Oh, we are undone. We are all undone.
Mine says, And the children of Israel spake unto Moses, saying, Behold, we die. We perish. We all perish.
I like that more. And the people of Israel said to Moses, Behold, we perish. We are undone. We are all undone. Everyone who comes near to the tabernacle of the Lord shall die. Are we all to perish? That's weird.
Oh, that sucks for them.
Yeah. And this is, I'm gonna just take a shot in the dark and say that was P.
Yeah.
Just a little shot in the dark, and say that all this stuff about Aaron was from P. What was that? 15. Oh, yep. What do you know? I was right. All of it. All right.
Yep. P. Yeah, we're not big P fans here on Atheist Sunday School.
Kind of an ass.
Yeah, he is an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, really? What the hell?
You doing 17?
Yeah,
we're done with 17.
Alright, cool. Alright,
Yeah.
Okay. Now, well, that was a short chapter, huh?
Yeah. If we were reading Hebrew, it would have been longer.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just salty.
Well, I mean, you had to read all that crap, so.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. then I'll continue with chapter 18 here. But if you're enjoying the stream and you haven't yet, drop us a like. And
Yep, drop a like. It
share
really
with
helps
your
us out.
ex-wife. And the Lord said unto Aaron, Thou and thy sons and thy father's house with thee shall bear the iniquity of the sanctuary. And thou and thy sons with thee shall bear the iniquity of your priesthood. And thy brethren also of the tribe of Levi, the tribe of thy father, bring thou with thee, that they may be joined unto thee, and minister unto thee. But thou and thy sons with thee shall minister before the tabernacle of witness. And they shall keep thy charge and the charge of all the tabernacle. Only they shall not come nigh the vessels of the sanctuary and the altar, that neither they nor ye also die. And they shall be joined unto thee, and keep the charge of the tabernacle of the congregation, for all the service of the tabernacle. And a stranger shall not come nigh unto you. And ye shall, we've had a lot of these stranger, like if a stranger is in your midst.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened even once. Strangers aren't showing up to their shitty little community out in the middle of the
So
desert.
this is actually something I was reading about this. So before the exile, there was another invasion by the Assyrians, and they didn't exile them, but what they did was they moved a bunch of people to the western end of Israel. So there were a bunch of strangers.
The Gaza Strip.
I have no idea. But what I do know is that the tradition pretty much lasted, and I'm sure they were afraid, this could happen again. So even though P was written much later, I'm sure there was a good reason for that. Might have something to do with that.
Well, then, let's continue. And ye shall keep the charge of the sanctuary and the charge of the altar, that there be no wrath any more upon the children of Israel. And
Behold!
I have taken your children, the Levites, from among the children of Israel. To you they are given as a gift for the Lord, to do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. Therefore thou and thy sons with thee shall keep your priest's office for everything of the altar, and within the veil, and ye shall serve. I have given your priest's office unto you as a service of a gift, and the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. And the Lord spake unto Aaron, Behold! Capital behold, even. I also have given thee the charge of mine heave offering of all the hallowed things of the children of Israel. Unto thee have I given them by reason of the anointing, and to thy sons by an ordinance forever. This shall be thine of the most holy things, reserved from the fire. Every oblation of theirs, every meat offering of theirs, and every sin offering of theirs, and every trespass offering of theirs, which they shall render unto me, shall be most holy for thee and for thy sons. In the most holy place shalt thou eat it. Every male shall eat it. It shall be holy unto thee. Every male.
Every male.
No, not females, though.
No.
Right, don't mention females. Females, they don't get to eat. Why would they get to eat?
We got people making noise in the back, so hopefully that's not
hopefully
a problem.
those people making noise in the
We'll
background
stop, fucking
will
assholes.
Stop doing that.
Okay.
And this is thine, the heave offering of their gift, with all the wave offerings of the children of Israel. I have given them unto thee, and to thy sons and thy daughters with thee, by a statute forever. Every one that is clean in thy house shall eat of it. All the best of the oil, and all the best of the wine, and of the wheat, the first fruits of them, which they shall offer unto the Lord, them have I given thee. And whatsoever is first ripe in the land, which they shall bring unto the Lord, shall be thine. Every one that is clean in thine house shall eat of it. No unclean people, though. So no women who are menstruating. Everything devoted in Israel shall be thine. everything that openeth the matrix in all flesh, which they bring unto the Lord.
That damn Matrix.
Yeah. Listen, they're advocating the red pill right here. Whether it be of men or beasts shall be mine. Nevertheless, the firstborn of man shalt thou surely redeem, and the firstling of unclean beasts shalt thou redeem. And those that are to be redeemed from a month old shalt thou redeem according to thine estimation, for the money of 5 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, which is 20 gerahs. But the firstling of a cow, or the firstling of a sheep, or the firstling of a goat, thou shalt not redeem. They're holy. Thou shalt sprinkle their blood upon the altar, and shalt burn their fat for an offering made by fire, for a sweet savor unto the Lord.
You know what's interesting is that weren't they just taking the firstborns of these things, like just like in Leviticus, weren't they taking some of the firstborns of the animals?
Yeah, well, I assume...
I think so.
They're talking about the same firstborn of the animals, because they're continually taking the firstborn of all
Right, but
the
now they're
animals.
saying that you shouldn't take it from a cow or a sheep or a goat.
No.
Okay, never mind.
They're saying that they're holy and should be used exclusively.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Shall not redeem, okay.
And the flesh of them shall be thine, as the wave, breast, and the right shoulder are thine. All the heave offerings of the holy things, which the children of Israel offer unto the Lord, have I given thee, and thy sons and thy daughters with thee by a statute forever. It is a covenant of salt, forever before the Lord unto thee, and to thy seed with thee.
It's a covenant of salt?
I mean, I guess they're meaning that it lasts a long time.
Wait, hold on. Where are you seeing salt?
No,
I got it. Okay.
Yeah. Does it say covenants of salt with yours?
It is a covenant. Salt shall last forever. Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And the Lord spake unto Aaron, Thou shalt have no inheritance in their land, neither shalt thou have any part among them. I am thy part and thy inheritance among the children of Israel. And behold, I have given the children of Levi all the 10th in Israel for an inheritance, for their service which they serve, even in the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. Neither must the children of Israel henceforth come nigh the tabernacle of the congregation, lest they bear sin and die. But the Levites shall do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they shall bear their iniquity. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, that among the children of Israel they have no inheritance.
Yeah, forever.
Forever.
Forever. So
them.
So this is one of those things that instead of being like, people can't explain this, like Christians can't be able to explain something like this away, saying, oh, but you got to think about the context of the time. Like, even when talking about slavery, some Christians will make excuses for it. They will do apologetics for slavery.
Yeah, well, they're ridiculous.
Yeah, so that there are two ways that it could possibly go. So you could either have a Christian who's like actually morally good, and they say no, slavery is always wrong. That was wrong of them to have slaves.
Yeah.
And then you have those other ones that are like, oh, but the context, and that kind of slavery wasn't the kind of slavery we know today, and it's still owning another human being as property. That's wrong.
Yeah.
I think that's the one of the big parts that's wrong about slavery.
Well, you see, by God's standards,
Yeah, and this is the thing that they always say. They say that it was a different time, so it was okay back then, and my only response to this is, you know what that sounds like? It sounds like moral relativism to me.
Yep.
And that really pisses them off, because they don't like moral relativism.
No, they don't at all. A lot of people don't like moral relativism.
Moral relativism's the best!
Okay,
Yep.
thank
Chris
you.
loves moral relativism.
He absolutely loves it. All right. Well, we
But-
can go on. I ranted about that, so that happened.
Yeah. Where was I?
Shit. The something about forever that law
Forever.
will for the end of time. Where the
Oh, yes. And the Lord spake unto Aaron, and... Wait, I already said that. The Levites... Okay,
oh, okay. You're at 25, I think.
yeah. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak, thus speak, not speak, thus speak, just, thus speak unto the Levites, and say unto them, When ye take of the children of Israel the tithes which I have given you from them for your inheritance, then ye shall offer up a heave offering of it for the Lord, even a tenth part of the tithe. And this your heave offering shall be reckoned unto you, as though it were the corn of the threshing floor. And
That doesn't sound appetizing.
No, it doesn't. And as the fullness of the winepress.
As a fan of corn, that disgusts me.
Yeah. Thus ye also shall offer a heave offering unto the Lord of all your tithes, which ye receive of the children of Israel, and ye shall give thereof the Lord's heave offering to Aaron the priest. Out of all your gifts ye shall offer every heave offering of the Lord, of all the best thereof, even the hallowed part thereof out of it. Therefore thou shalt say unto them, When ye have heaved the best thereof from it, then it shall be counted unto the Levites as the increase of the threshing floor, and as the increase of the winepress, and ye shall eat it in every place. Ye and your households, for it is your reward for your service in the tabernacle of the congregation, and ye shall bear no sin by reason of it. When ye have heaved from it the best of it, neither shall ye pollute the holy things of the children of Israel, lest ye die.
So basically, the Levites get the leftovers.
Yeah.
That's what that sounds like. So I don't know if like Jews are still trying to track their lineage. Are they still trying to track their lineage to the 12 tribes? I don't know
Yes.
if they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, Cohens,
Cohens. Yeah.
they're supposed to be of the Aaronid lineage.
Are they?
Yeah, which is why they do the first thing in many of the ceremonies.
Oh. Interesting. Okay. Well, I don't know. You would get pretty bummed if you found out you were a Levite, wouldn't you?
Guys done with 18.
Oh.
Yeah, we're done with 18. Okay. So now we are. I mean, I would be bummed if I was like, "Oh, hey, look, I believe in all this
found
stuff,
out-
and I'm a Levite,
well,
so
I
I
found
get
out
your leftovers."
That my family
Mr.
is
Cohen.
a Levite family. So
You get the
I
leftovers.
don't know why they believe in this crap. Have they ever read it?
No.
Probably not. I mean, how many Christians do you know, honestly, who have read the Bible?
I mean, some.
I mean, we know, like, basically the people who were in Creationist Club in high school.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's, like, those weird guys who, like, preach on the sidewalks.
Yeah, I don't even think if they have read the Bible, I think they just kind of do what I used to do with really bad books I wasn't liking. I would read like one page, skip 5 pages, and read another page. Like that's what I did with the Twilight books. I was like, this is stupid.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
So I just like read a page, skipped 5, and then read another page, and yeah. And I was like, yeah, I get the gist. That's all I really needed.
Well, continue on.
Okay. Chapter 19.
I will return momentarily.
Oh, you will return momentarily.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
then.
get a water. Do you want one?
Yeah.
All right.
You don't need to
Oh, yeah.
unhook anything. Yeah. Because we
Wow,
got
this is so great.
we got these
I
wireless
can still be
mics.
on the show. While
Yeah,
I'm
so he's
going to
still
get a
on the
water.
show, even though he's walking all the way over there. It's great. It sounds like he's right next to me, probably. I don't know either. But
It's like I never even left the table.
like he never even left.
Like it is. Totally. I got the headphones on.
That's great. Okay, cool. It's like he's right next to me. That's fantastic. Technology, man. All right. Now the Lord spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, "This is the statute of the law that the Lord has commanded. Tell the people of Israel to bring you a red heifer without defect, in which there is no blemish, and on which a yoke has never come." Whoa! I love that. Hey, Reuben.
Yeah.
Do you have a heifer on which yoke has never come?
I don't know how to answer that question. How should we interpret this?
Of the virgin? The virgin cow?
But why would they use...
A really sexy virgin cow.
So,
What's that?
No blemish.
well, not only... I think it's supposed to imply that it hasn't bled yet. You know? It hasn't menstruated.
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
It's eggs.
"And you shall give it to Eleazar the priest, and it shall be taken outside the camp and slaughtered before him. And Eleazar the priest shall take some of its blood with his finger and sprinkle some of its blood toward the front of the tent of meeting 7 times. And the heifer shall be burned in his sight. Its skin, its flesh, and its blood with its dung shall be burned." I like how they just had to throw in its shit.
Well, they need to, because normally when you're out hunting, like, have you ever gone hunting?
No.
Okay, have you ever gone fishing?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know when you get the fish, you don't just, like, take the fish and throw it in a thing and eat it? You know?
Yeah.
You fillet it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want all those intestines in there. Because you don't want to be eating the fish's shit.
I don't?
No. That's why when you go out hunting and you shoot a deer or something, you gotta go up to it, cut it open, and disembowel it. They're saying specifically not to disembowel it. Like,
Because you're burning it.
yeah,
They're just burning it.
yeah,
Okay. Eat shit and die.
yeah.
"And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet yarn." Oh, not this again. "And throw them into the fire, burning the heifer. Then the priest shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water, and afterward he may come into the camp. But the priest shall be unclean until evening. The one who burns the heifer shall wash his clothes in water and bathe his body in water, and shall be unclean until evening. And a man who is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer and deposit them outside the camp in a clean place, and they shall be kept for the water, for impurity, for the what the fuck? Hold on. And they shall be kept. I'm just trying to get this. And they shall be kept for the water, for impurity, for the congregation of the people of Israel. It is a sin offering. And the one who gathers the ashes...
Mine's a little better.
Okay. Let's read yours if it's better.
"And a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer and lay them without the camp of the clean place. And it shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for a water of separation."
That is better.
It is a purification for sin.
Yeah, that is much better. "And the one who gathers the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. And this shall be a perpetual statute of the people of Israel and for the stranger who sojourns among them. Whoever touches the dead body of any person shall be unclean 7 days. He shall..." Fucking morticians. Sucks for them.
Yeah.
Perpetually unclean. "Whoever touches the dead body of any person shall be unclean for 7 days. He shall cleanse himself with the water on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, and so be clean. But if he does not cleanse himself on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, he will not become clean. Whoever touches a dead person, the body of anyone who has died." That's like they're telling you what a dead person is. They're just defining it for you. I forgot what it meant to die.
Mine says, "Whosoever toucheth the dead body of any man that is dead."
Oh, that dead guy's alive.
That's great.
Oh, wow.
Man, whoops.
Whoops.
Oh, whoa. What about Jesus?
What about Jesus?
About Jesus? Jesus
said you're
raised
alive.
Lazarus.
Yeah.
Jesus raised Lazarus, so he had to touch Lazarus.
Did he touch Lazarus? I don't
I think he touched Lazarus, yeah. We'll get to it, but
We'll get to it.
assuming Jesus touched Lazarus,
Jesus touched dead
and
guys.
Jesus did not then immediately go to purify himself somehow,
Right.
has Jesus been made unclean?
Question of the day.
The question of the day. Answer it. Because I don't know. We'll see. Because I don't know if he actually touches him or not.
Well, he also does. He literally does laying of hands on like people with leprosy and shit.
Yeah, on people with leprosy.
So
sure.
he would be unclean through that. By
Yeah, that's true.
the law of the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
So he breaks the Talmudic law constantly
Interesting.
because he was a Buddhist monk.
Shit, maybe I'll do a video on that. That sounds kind of interesting. All the times he broke the Jewish law.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. I can do that.
Yeah.
8,000 times Jesus broke Jewish law.
8,000 times. I'm not gonna go up to
Come on, your
8
10-hour
fucking
video's gonna be
thousand.
great.
No, it's not. It's gonna be longer than 10 hours. Shit, if there's 8,000. Where the fuck was I? Right. Okay. But if he does not cleanse himself on the third day and on the seventh day, he will not become clean. Whoever touches the dead person, the body of anyone who has died, and does not cleanse himself, defiles the tabernacle of the Lord, and that person shall be cut off from Israel, because the water for impurity was not thrown on him. He shall be unclean. Excuse me. His uncleanness is still on him. This is the law when someone dies in a tent. Now, this is specifically in a tent.
In a tent.
Yeah.
Not a house.
Not a house, a tent.
A tent.
Could not, would not in a tent. Everyone who comes into the tent and everyone who is in the tent shall be unclean 7 days, and every open vessel that has no cover fastened on it is unclean. Whoever in the open field touches someone who was killed with a sword or who died naturally, or touches a human bone or a grave shall be unclean 7 days.
That's really cool.
Is it?
Whosoever toucheth one that is slain with a sword in the open fields, or a dead body or bone of a man or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days.
Yeah, those are on the same level.
Yeah.
For the unclean, they shall take some ashes of the burnt sin offering. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that was right. Ashes of the burnt sin offering, and fresh water shall be added in a vessel.
Ooh, mine says running water.
Ooh. Theological controversy.
Ooh.
Like vampires. Real vampires.
Well, see, the thing is, it says Hebrew, the word is living.
Living.
Living water.
So it would be running water.
It would be running water.
Yeah. So you have to gather this from a river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Or like one of those springs or like a waterfall or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And shall be added in a vessel. Then a clean person shall take hyssop and dip it in the water and sprinkle it on the tent and on all the furnishings and on the person and on the persons who were there and on whoever touched the bone or the slain or the dead or the grave. And talk about fucking run-ons.
Yeah.
And the clean person shall sprinkle it on the unclean on the third day and on the seventh day. Thus, on the seventh day he shall cleanse him. And he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and at evening he shall be clean. So it's a very similar ritual to just regular dead bodies. But it's like, it looks like just a drop on each person that was like in the vicinity of the death. If a man who is unclean does not cleanse himself, that person shall be cut off from the midst of the assembly, since he has defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. Because the water for impurity has not been thrown on him, he is unclean, and it shall be a statute forever for them. The one who sprinkles the water for impurity shall wash his clothes, and the one who touches the water for impurity shall be unclean until evening. And whatever the unclean person touches shall be unclean, and anyone who touches it shall be unclean until evening.
So is this the first chapter that we really
No,
get,
this is not the first chapter.
baptism?
Oh.
This is the first chapter.
Then we get baptism? Well, no. It's not really baptism. Because it's a cleansing of something that they actually did, not something that it's not like an original sin cleansing. It's like
But this would be the basis of baptism later on, right?
perhaps.
Something like this, at least, because they haven't gone through a lot of like water rituals. There's been a lot of blood rituals and a lot of fire rituals, but there haven't been a lot of water rituals.
Yeah, there's really not much when it comes to water rituals, and water's pretty good.
Blatant advertising.
Blatant advertising. Yeah, sponsor us, water.
Yes, this Chippewa spring water, Earth's perfect water trademark.
I just love like all the TM memes now.
Yeah.
Nice nice guys TM.
Everybody loves Earth's perfect water trademark.
So those are all the chapters today. Thank you guys for joining us. And before we leave, remember, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. It really helps us out.
Yeah.
Also, if you like what we do and want to help us continue doing what we do, become a patron on Patreon if you can. Or if you're interested in that, it really helps us out. We can do a lot. You get some cool rewards. Right now, the most popular patron tier is the $5 rewards. You get all the behind-the-scenes stuff, and you get a copy of every book that we publish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Self-publish.
Yeah, self-published, because rights and stuff.
Yeah, and you sent out Landon's book, right?
I'm sending those out tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm sending all the patron, or all the books out tomorrow that I have not sent out yet.
All right, excellent.
Yep. And before we leave also, remember, on May 5th, I'm going to be giving a talk. If you guys can come to that, that would be cool. I'm going to put the links in the description for that. May 6th, we're going to have Richard Carrier here. We're going to do the show, and then we're going to do an interview with him, which will be posted later.
And it looks like we're doing the show with Carrier, right? We're going to do 3 chapters, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Then we'll be covering the death of Aaron with Richard Carrier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
If we don't do this first.
Right. Okay. And aside from that, I had something else. Oh, right. On the 11th, I will actually, if you guys know the Non Sequitur show, on the 11th, I will be on the Non Sequitur show, and I think we're doing a discussion about the flood. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern, so 7 p.m. our time, or Central time.
You want to film that here?
It's not a filming.
It's
They're going to be streaming it.
yeah.
It's like a Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, do you want to use these cameras as Google Hangouts?
No.
Are you sure they're not?
Yes, I'm sure. It's fine. God damn
Well,
it.
everyone tune into that show.
Yes.
Lawrence is representing Milwaukee Atheists for that purpose.
I guess, yeah. So it is a fantastic show, Non Sequitur show. So it'd be cool to be on there. Aside from that, I think we're all good. Thank you guys for joining us. Remember to like and subscribe.
And remember to get your natural spring water.
Natural spring water.
Earth's perfect water.
TM.
I bet there are a whole bunch of parasites in here.
Yeah, that's what makes it so delicious.
Mmm.
Yep.